border of Hunan and Guangxi provinces of China. The southeast end of Yingui Plateau joins Yichengling mountain range. The county of Longshan is situated in northwest of Guilin city. In the vast expanse of misty mountains to where the Xiongjiang River meanders in its significance, ethnic groups of Miao, Yao, Dong, Zhuang, and many others live in harmony, co-producing a truly fantastic culinary culture. The subtropical monsoon, with warm and humid air, brought ample precipitation. The rain lasting for 3 whole days had made Huronglin a bit uneasy. In the barn, the seeds of aromatic sticky rice were sprouting. If they were not sowed as soon as possible, the harvest of the year could have been inflicted. The village where Ronglin lives is called Guzhuang, a place with beautiful view of mountains and streams. The Zhuang people here give a full display to their fondness for rice. In the village, terraces were built on all the sole surface slopes, looking like layers of mirrors placed facing the sky. Before the day of grain in ear, a solar term of Chinese lunar calendar, people begin to plant the well-prepared rice seedlings and kickstart the farm work of the year. The terraces seem to reach as far as the mountaintops. The water had been stored in the patch for 3 days, and the soil should have been soft enough. However, there could be the most leeches and mosquitoes inside. This was already ignored by Ronglin because the bare feet would work the best when harrowing in the mud. A few hours later, Ronglin started to prepare his lunch. Bamboo tube rice was the usual food for the farmers during busy seasons. The bamboo that grew all over the mountain provided natural cookware. Before he left home, he had put in the bamboo tubes some processed sticky rice, taros, pumpkins, and bacon, and then sealed the tube with a corn cob. In intervals of his farming, he would light a fire to cook. The moisture contained in the bamboo itself was enough to soften the rice, and the aroma of bamboo could penetrate into the food. In a while, the green skin of the tube was burned black. But the fragrance exuded from within indicated a marvelous something inside. The tube was cut open by half. A thin coating from the bamboo wrapped the glossy rice, apparently adding to the attractiveness of the food and keeping it fresh and warm. A bite on it would be accompanied by the mixed aroma of the bamboo and rice, extremely satisfying both the tongue and the stomach. The aromatic sticky rice of Longji is the major food for local people. It can be either squeezed to a rice dough or loosened to fluffy rice. As an acclaim to the aroma of the rice, a local saying goes, all know it knows when one steams the rice. With the surplus rice, the Zhuang people made wine. Water is the eternal theme of Longshan County. Streams run across the village of Guzhuang tirelessly, as if the change of seasons had not bothered. The aromatic sticky rice of Longji, working with the limpid spring water of the area, will make the best rice wine. Just about June, visitors poured to the terraces, bringing about the most consumption of the rice wine. Chui Mei had to work even harder to meet the demand. Though experienced in the wine producing, she still considered the whole process a big challenge. A few steps done, such as soaking the rice in the spring water and steaming the rice on firewood, the brewing of the wine was nonetheless far from the end. Temperature is what decisive in the process. She now poured again some icy spring water onto the rice. Spreading the rice on a bamboo tray to cool it down was technically demanding. The adjustment of temperature was all a matter of experience. If it was too high, the yeast could be killed, and too low, the fermentation would not happen. Any tiny distraction could lead to a total failure. To check the temperature, Chui Mei used her hands. Now it was the best time, as assured by her experience, to introduce the yeast. The next step was to seal the jar until the rice got fermented. The sticky rice contained a large quantity of starch, and the maltose generated from which would react with the yeast enzymes. 7 days later, strong aroma was released from within the jar, calling for some boiled water to be added in. Then the jar was resealed for another round of fermentation. When the spring water and the vinasse fully mixed, the sweet and mellow Longji rice wine was done. All the hard work was paid by perfect sweetness. The wine tastes more like beverage than liquor. Today, only Chui Mei and the people of her age are still capable of making such silky and syrupy liquor, or the so-called Oriental magic liquid. Compared with taking adventures, the younger generations are less interested in carrying on the traditional craftsmanship. Regardless of this, Chui Mei remains confident.
It's really delicious.
Excellent.
She believes that the good wine will find a way to get itself passed down. With generous hospitality, the people of Longsheng County usually serve their guests with a bowl of soup at the end of the meal. This vegetable soup, beige in color and with no meat or condiment, delivers a truly impressive flavor. It is made with preserved vegetable, taken by the Dong ethnic people as the taste of home, which is cherished for lifetime. The preserved vegetable looks like dried mustard greens. But in Wu Kekwan's mind, they are totally different materials. In the Dong villages, every household is skillful in making the preserved vegetables. For the product, people here pick only the leaf mustard that ripened in February, which tastes the sweetest. No extra condiment is needed during the process. In a sealed and dark environment, the salt can continuously activate the lactobacillus contained in the vegetable and produces the sour smell. In a half month, when fully fermented, the vegetable is taken out, minced and cool-dried on the bamboo trays. The ultraviolet rays can stop the fermentation and impart a unique scent to the vegetable. To preserve and enhance the natural flavor of the vegetable, another ingredient has to be introduced: the tea oil. With some tea oil and some steaming, the preserved vegetable will taste even better and can be kept for longer. After being thoroughly steamed, the vegetable then needs to be dried again until the moisture contained is completely removed. Is the delicacy really ready? Compared to the complicated preservation process, cooking is much easier. When the water is boiled, the preserved vegetables should be put in, together with some ginger, garlic and pepper. Before the soup is served, some chopped green onion is strewed on it. The soup supposedly can warm the body in winter and relieve the heat inside the body in summer. Salty and a bit spicy, it offers a special flavor that no other food will provide. The preserved vegetable plays its important role not only in a soup, but beyond. Though it looks ordinary, it has become an essential ingredient of the meals of the locals. Being either fried or stewed, it never disappoints people's taste buds. When braised with pork, the preserved vegetable is believed to be able to reduce the greasiness of the pork and stimulate appetite. The coldness of winter yielded the best material for Wu Ke Kwan's specialty, the preserved vegetable, but reversely, it almost knocked Li Fu Gui down. In a winter a few years ago, a snowfall killed more than 1,000 ducks, which had been raised for 3 months and were about to sell, causing Li Fu Gui a loss of 40,000 yuan. This accident triggered much complaint from his wife, Yang Liu Ying, who originally objected to raise the ducks. The duck they refer to is chueya, all in blackish green and typically found in Longsheng. They are smaller in size than the ordinary ducks, weighing around 1.5 to 2 kilograms. The nickname Yang Dong Ya literally indicates that they are a type of duck raised by Miao people. They wear dark green all over from head to foot, being one of the 3 famous black ducks in China. Their color is prominent and brilliant in the sunshine. Light and dark green colors appear on their neck alternately, and the feather covering the body looks more like teal, just as that of the peacock. Ducks are waterfowls, therefore water is where they are born and live in. The luster of their feathers has a lot to do with the water environment. When temperature drops, the water turns cold. In the case, keeping chuiya, especially those ducklings warm, become extremely important. The ducklings in their first 24 hours should be treated with great care. Li Fu Gui applied the heat lamp. The cozy and warm light kept the little somethings from the coldness. The tender care upon their arrival in the world could build on their strength to go through harsh environment. After checking, Lee felt a wave of relief. The rains did not cause any problem for him and the flock. The husbands insist, and success in duck raising changed the wife's mind, who even started to cooperate in the business. Small figure, Chui Ya wins fame nevertheless with its eggs, large in size and pretty in appearance, the bluish shell translucent with a glimmer of red. Whatever deep fried or boiled, the egg make delicious cuisine anyway. The meat of Chui Ya smells less aggressive and is less fatty. Every part of the duck, from blood to meat, is good enough for any recipe. The sticky rice mixed with duck blood can be made to rice cubes of black and white colors and then joined with the duck meat for stir fry. The combination of sticky rice, duck blood, and duck meat offers an intriguing and substantial feeling for tongue. Another cuisine has to be mentioned as it gives a highlight to the quality of the duck meat. No ingredient needed, not even ginger, the duck soup can be delicious as well. There is little fat under the skin of the ducks. That explains why the soup looks clear, smells pleasant, and tastes mild. The soup can also make nice tea, a drink that is smooth and light but rich with fragrance. The people of Longsheng has never stopped enriching their recipes about meat. A local beef is renowned for its incredible texture. The beef, firstly, is sliced, maintained in its soft but flexible status. Ginger, dry peppers, and jiao lo leaves are then put in and mixed with the beef. Later, they will be soaked in a kind of sour soup containing acid garlic and red peppers. In the soup, the beef dehydrates and sinks quickly, turning from red to a lot paler. Until now, it is ready to serve. Tender and fresh, it makes no difference with the fried beef and delivers no unpleasant smell or taste that the raw material ever has. The bold recipe for raw beef is prevailing in the Nanshan pasture, which is 100 kilometers away from Longsheng, and dominating the highest land of the county with an average elevation of 1,800 meters. Nanshan pasture is the merry land of these local yellow cattle, providing mountains for playground, spring water for drinks, and native grasses for food. The cattle is kept by Huang Bao Wang, a Yao ethnic who believes that the best way to keep the cattle is to let them freely grow. The cold air from the north will firstly meet the block of Nanshan pasture before it can take Guangxi. The chilly north wind usually brings along the clouds and rains on the way, shrouding the mountains with heavy fog and reducing the visibility to less than 10 meters. Huang let out the cattle, as always. Wouldn't he worry about the threats of the weather condition? Not at all. This is the common weather in Nanshan pasture. Instead of weakening the cattle, it brings them up even stronger. Actually, the local cattle are used to such environment. They normally sustain difficult conditions as long as there is no serious natural disaster. This day, Li Hongjian, the nephew of Huang Bao Wang, came over. His restaurant got a reservation from some visitors who wanted to have some beef bacon. It is fairly damp and chilly in the pasture. Baking becomes the most preferred means for the locals to preserve the meat. Yao people are well versed in the job. This may have originated from their tradition in hunting and the subsequent preservation of the meat. Beef is firstly marinated with ginger slices and soy sauce, and afterwards, baking is the key step. Other than smoking on direct fire, there's a device for baking, which is installed with a tube, channeling the smoke and heat more intensively to the roof and accelerating the drying of the beef. In a month's time, the beef will be totally baked dry, but not yet ready to serve. Sliced to smaller pieces, the beef bacon is again deep fried with pepper and ginger. Before being served, the attractive scent is already in the air. Dry but tender, the beef bacon is the best match for a shot of liquor. This is the mountain flavor that will definitely meet the desire of the visitors. No matter what is taken for the food and how the food is prepared, hot pepper has never been absent from the local recipes. This piquancy belongs to Longxi terraces, more than 800 meters above sea. This day, Meng Huanchun was much earlier than ever. He was to hand over a woodcut, his month-long work, and had it placed in a shrine for ancestor worship. Meng is one of the few woodcut craftsmen in the village. He enjoys the feeling of letting his passion about Longxi landscape run on the board. Likely, he's contented with the planting of red pepper. The village of Mahai produces abundant red peppers, and a pepper festival is celebrated here annually. The superior pepper planted by Meng Huanchun has ever won him the title of Pepper King. Meng was completely in his world of woodcutting, ignoring the rain getting heavier outside. June is the flowering season of the peppers and the rainy season as well. The rain can foster the growth of the pepper. However, too much of it can also knock the flowers down. Leaving alone his artwork, Meng and his wife, Liao Liang Feng, hurried out in their Kwa rain capes. The rain had wetted the world and wilted the white flowers, many of which were not yet in their full bloom. The couple came to check the damage of the plants as if they were tenderly carrying their babies. footsteps, they noted down all the stories of hard working in the misty terraces. Mahai village is surrounded by a dense forest of bamboo. It is said that in places with bamboos, the water is sweet. The sweet spring water nurtures even better peppers. August is the pepper season, when the village is richly decorated by the color of pepper red. Hard works of the year see a return at this most blissful moment of the farmers. The Longji red pepper, in the shape of ox horn and bright in color, is characterized by thick flesh, fewer seeds, mild piquancy, and delicate flavor. The newly picked peppers, with the bases removed, can be chopped to small pieces and pickled with some garlic, wine, and salt. A week later, a superb relish will be done. But more peppers are to be sun-dried. On the roofs of every house, a spread of red shines brilliantly in the sunlight, and even the air smells a strong fragrance. The dried pepper, shriveled in the skins while remaining soft in the interior, is the best material for chili sauce, a favorite of the visitors. First of all, the dried peppers are pounded to almost powders, and then some minced garlic is introduced before the hot oil is poured in. The temperature of the oil is decisive. The proper degrees can exude the natural fragrance of the pepper, but not to burn it. Liao's experience enables her to judge on the temperature by eye observation. Likewise, timing is essential too. As soon as the boiled oil is put in, all ingredients should be stirred to mix thoroughly. Therefore, the portion of each production shall be just appropriate, so as to allow the timely processing. Otherwise, the product could be ruined. Meng Cheng Wei, the son, develops a fancier way to enjoy the spice: barbecue dried pepper. The peppers are roasted on the fire until they emanate a stronger fragrance. Then they are cut by segments. Together with some minced garlic and soy sauce, they make a seasoning which will greet people's tongues with a spicy pleasure. Pepper has never been dispensable on any ordinary family meal. Year after year, this local flavor has been produced by Meng Huanchun and carried from home to far and beyond. The pepper seems to unfold a future as brightly shine as the color of pepper red. In the afternoon, Ho Chui Mei had just some break. She came onto the terraces to help with the husband. They wanted to finish the sewing before it got dark. Li Fugui and Yang Luying just shifted from the duck ranch to the kitchen. With the kids, they were going to have a warm family gathering. After sending the guests off, Wang Bao Wang and Li Hongjian had an appointment of fishing. What they harvested from the adjacent streams would supplement their recipes. More visitors will be attracted to Longsheng. It is the people of this land who, with various ethnic backgrounds, showing utmost respect to the nature and its rule, and using their wisdom, create this colorful life. The births of spring, the growths of summer, the harvests of autumn, and the provisions of winter make up a palette of life, and will eventually paint out the taste of happiness.
Welcome to the longest running, the original, the only trilingual Filipino-Chinese lifestyle magazine show, Chinatown TV. I'm your host, Candice Dan. 您现在收看的是非中电视台。Being in business for 27 years is a fit for any company. Hotel Sogo has always been known as a budget hotel, catering to a wide range of clients, from travelers to motorists, and even couples who are looking for a comfortable place to spend the night. Over the last several years, though, Hotel Sogo has built a brand based on Filipinos' love for celebrations. 因此 Hotel Sogo 成为一家迎合家庭友好甚至企业聚会的酒店。如今，您可以期待在 Sogo 酒店找到适合各种场合的亲密庆祝活动。Let's get to know more about Hotel Sogo. 咱们一起观看。
Hi, I'm Sue Geminiano, Hotel Sogo's Marketing Manager.
Nagbukas noong 1993 mula sa ideya ng dalawang negosyante who wanted to connote cleanliness, innovation, efficiency, courtesy, discipline, and teamwork. Hotel Sogo has come a long way with the opening of 3 more branches this year. This brings the hotel's entire network to 45 branches and more in the pipeline. Hotel Sogo has achieved yet another milestone growth with this recent expansion in the metro. As the largest hotel chain in the Philippines, Hotel Sogo is making its presence felt in more areas to address the lodging needs of guests on safety and price.
2022 for Hotel Sogo means expansion. Well, basically going back to normal, but as we all know, we are in our new normal. And when I say expansion, we are expecting more branches for Hotel Sogo for the year 2022 and more innovations for the safety of our guests and our employees. In 1992, there are 2 individuals who actually discussed about having lodging business. When they thought of having a Japanese-themed lodging business, they decided to put up Hotel Sogo. Sogo actually in Japanese term is harmony, cooperation, and companionship. And actually in Japan they call it Sugo. Siyempre, Pilipino tayo and Hotel Sogo. Affordable price or room rates that are just right for the need of our guests. Let's say they need an economic room, then we provide the economy class room. If they need the Regency room for family, we provide a Regency price at a very affordable and friendly price. Well, we say our tagline is so clean, so good, and now so safe.
Sa paglaganap ng pandemya, isa ang hospitality industry sa mga lubos na naapektuhan. Health and safety have been a concern. That's why Hotel Sogo has focused on these 2 aspects as they navigate through the new normal. From that point on, they continued to research, invest further, and develop innovative ways to upgrade their safety protocols, especially in cleanliness and sanitation.
Since pandemic, we have realized, and because of the innovations that we have made and installed in our rooms, naging so safe. Everyone says they are clean, but for being safe, yes, we are proud of. Why? Kasi we have installed actually 11 innovations that is anti-COVID. This is to mitigate the spread of the virus. Well, I cannot deny that we are really affected. More than any businesses here in the Philippines, Hotel Sogo having 40 branches at that time, and we have about almost 2,000 employees being on lockdown. But we were able to survive because what we thought is to help the frontliners, not only the medical frontliners, but also the frontliners on the field. We helped them. We provided free rooms to the health workers, and we have actually approximately 80 million in value that we have donated to these different cities to the frontliners for free.
Guests are assured a pleasurable and memorable experience at Hotel Sogo. Rooms have facilities like hot and cold shower, nice and comfy beds, and Wi-Fi connections. They have ample parking space, jacuzzi, safety deposit boxes, and a 24-hour dedicated call center. Themed rooms have been introduced for a more fun and memorable stay. At kung magugutom naman, siguradong marami kang masasarap na pagkaing pagpipilian.
What we do is we educate our guests. We educate them that this is just like any other hotel. You can check in here being alone, having your me time. You can check in here being with your family for bonding. You can also check in here if you are with your friends than of going somewhere else, right? Which is we provide this safety facility with this different folks, different strokes. I am inviting you to visit us and try to check in at Hotel Sogo. So clean, so good, so safe.
You'll have so much more of Chinatown TV when we return. 请不要转台，非中电视台马上回来。
那一天知道你要走，我们一句话也没有说。当午夜的钟声搅动离别的心门，却打不开你深深的沉默。那一天送你送到最后，我们一句话也没有留。当拥挤的月台挤痛送别的人们，却挤不掉我深深的离愁。我知道你有甜言，你有婉语，却不肯说出口。你知道我好担心，我好难过，却不敢说出口。当你背上心爱，卸下那份荣耀，我只能让眼泪留在心底，面带着微微笑，用力的挥挥手，祝你一路顺风。当你踏上月台，从此一个人走，我只能深深地祝福你，深深地祝福你，最亲爱的朋友，祝你一路顺风。
Welcome back. You are still watching Chinatown TV. I'm your host, Candice Dan. 您现在收看的是非中电视台。The COVID-19 pandemic not only worsened the shortage in public transport, but it also made it harder for Filipino workers to go to work as transport prices shot up, according to a study by transport policy researchers. With no more direct routes from key North Luzon cities to Pasay and from key South Luzon cities to Quezon City, commuters taking provincial buses on a regular basis settle for stopovers at the designated provincial bus terminals before stepping foot on EDSA carousel buses to the nearest station and riding another mode of transportation to their destination. 让我们一起来看看这个。
Former Senator Nikki Coseteng has asked the Department of Transportation to resolve the public transportation problem. Addressing the Pandesal Forum at the Kamuning Bakery Cafe in Quezon City last week, Coseteng, who once chaired the Senate Committee on Public Services that included transportation, alleged that Transportation Secretary Arturo Tugade and other officials were oblivious of the repercussions of the erratic transport policies that adversely affected the riding public.
Because this is not only a human need, but I think it's a basic human right. Because all the persons who are bus riders, commuters, are the movers of our economy and contributors, to the development of our society. Let's not forget that.
Grabe nga yung COVID. Hindi natin masisi ang mga kababayan kasi walang kabuhayan eh. May tricycle sila dyan, may jeep, ipapasada nila, mag-a-add ng 300-500 pesos a day. Pero itong mga, they do not contribute to the government anything, but they use the same roads that we fund from our taxes. And also, they do not follow the minimum health protocols na could be a cause of spread of COVID even more. So, I'm not saying eradicate colorum, but let's give them a chance to legitimize their operations. Yun po na, kasi pag na-legitimize natin at ma-regulate sila ng mas maayos, mas magandang takbo natin as a whole.
In my view, there's no question. We need to prioritize higher capacity vehicles and public transport on our major roads.
Totoo lang, hindi nga kumikita yung mga bus operator ng 50% capacity sa taas ng ngayon eh. Pero it's a matter of public service, and since regulated ang bus operators, pag di mo kasi yan sinunod, pwede ka ma-disenfranchise. Pag hindi mo biniyahe yan, dahil kaya nga binigyan ng prangkisa dahil serbisyohan mo yung publiko at hindi mo sinerbisyohan, pwedeng i-revoke yung franchise. Pero ngayon, talagang restricted nga, going back to the bet of Senator Coseteng, yung 2 million pesos. Bakit ba hindi mapaluwag-luwag ito at mapagbigyan? Kasi hindi nga na-experience ng policy makers natin at mga taong nakaupo.
I'm so blessed and lucky to my employer because they took care of me when I'm sick.
外傭姐姐離鄉別井啦，咁嚟香港喺我哋屋企服務啦，咁即係佢之前都照顧得我哋咁好，咁而家佢有病嘅，咁我哋都要盡上僱主嘅責任啦，係咯，咁都要 take care 佢咯。
Mom give me all my needs. She cook my food, my breakfast, my lunch and my dinner.
咁當佢需要去洗手間啊，或者其他時候咧，佢會俾信息我啦 ，WhatsApp 我，咁我哋就叫啲小朋友迴避一下啦，並且之後就要做清潔啊、消毒咁樣。自從外傭姐姐即係確診咗之後咧，基本上我哋都冇出過街啦，因為我哋都係密切接觸者，咁喺樓家就隔離啦。咁我哋如果要買嘢，咁我哋都係網購啦，或者靠啲朋友幫我哋買，就擺喺門外咯。咁所有啲物品我哋入屋之前，我哋都會再做消毒嘅。
After knowing that I got the positive results, I feel very sad. I cry because I don't know what to do. They have a big heart. I'm so thankful for them.
你走一盏渔火，让它温暖我的双眼，留下一段真情，让它停泊在枫桥边。无助的我已经疏远了那份情感，许多年以后却发觉又回到你面前。流连的钟声还在敲打我的无眠，尘封的日子始终不会是一片云烟。久违的你一定保存着那张笑脸，许多年以后能不能接受彼此的改变？月落乌啼，总是千年的风霜，涛声依旧，不见当初的夜晚。今天的你我，怎样重复昨天的故事？这一张旧船票，能否登上你的客船
？Chinese ambassador to the Philippines Huang Xilian was interviewed by the 21st Century Business Herald. 中国驻菲律宾大使黄熙莲接受21世纪经济报道采访。
据中国驻菲律宾使馆消息，北京冬奥会圆满落幕，菲律宾高山滑雪选手阿萨米勒代表菲律宾第2次参加了冬奥会。 中国驻菲律宾大使黄锡莲在接受21世纪经济报道独家专访时表示，米勒的奥运之旅不仅连接了中非冬奥情谊，也必将点燃更多菲律宾年轻人对冰雪运动的热情，激励更多的菲律宾运动员站上未来冬奥会的舞台。自新冠疫情爆发以来，中非两国携手抗疫，共度难关。中国首批援非新冠疫苗于2021年2月运抵马尼拉，成为非接收的首批新冠疫苗。此后，中国通过商业采购和政府捐赠，累计向非提供多批疫苗。此外，中方向非提供抗疫物资，派遣抗疫医疗专家组，并为非方赴华采购和运输抗疫医疗物资提供便利。展望未来，黄大使指出，作为风雨同舟的千年近邻，中方将继续本着守望相助、共克时艰的精神，保障非方疫苗需求，并在疫苗研发、特效药生产以及公共卫生能力建设等方面开展合作，直至非彻底战胜新冠病毒。黄大使称，近年来中非发展战略密切对接，结出累累硕果，切实造福了两国人民。作为东盟的5个创始成员国之一，菲律宾为推动中国东盟关系发展发挥了重要作用。黄大使认为，菲律宾一直是中国东盟关系发展的重要参与者、推动者和建设者。他还表示，提质升级的中国东盟关系将助力中非关系行稳致远。一是中国和东盟深化睦邻友好，有助增进中非政治互信；二是中国东盟深化互利共赢，为中非经贸关系带来新机遇；三是更加开放包容的区域架构将为中非携手共担国际道义提供强大支撑。Chinatown News 非中新闻台综合报道。
The PCCII Bulacan Chapter Preparatory Committee paid a courtesy visit to the Philippine Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry Incorporated. 菲律宾中国商会布勒汉筹备会领导小组离访菲律宾中国商会总会。
菲律宾中国商会5、6干筹备会领导小组一行于2月21号离访菲律宾中国商会总会，受到了洪基祥会长等多位领导的热烈欢迎和热情接待，双方举行了亲切友好的座谈。洪基祥会长首先对5、6干筹备会领导的莅临表示欢迎和感谢，并宣布菲律宾中国商会5、6干筹备会正式成立。他也向5、6干筹备会领导小组介绍该会近期的活动计划。洪基祥会长表示，菲律宾中国商会在全非各大省市成立了33个分会，拥有约5万多的会员。近年来，中国商会为非中多项慈善公益、济贫救灾、防疫抗疫活动做出的贡献和努力有目共睹，希望在各位会员们的支持下将越来越壮大，希望大家携手共进，为该会以及当地社会的发展贡献力量。5、6干筹备会负责人洪宏腾和蔡长成进一步介绍了筹备工作的进展情况。该会洪传晓副会长、郑伟煌副会长也在座谈会上发言。出席当天活动的同仁有会长洪吉祥、副会长洪传晓、郑伟煌、董事林火炎、谢清乐、王贵波；菲律宾中国商会河南分会筹备会会长满昭、委员吴炳辉、副秘书长王慧珠、林慧婷、秘书林和民。Chinatown News 非中新闻台综合报道。
光暗淡，路径更长，天下的宴席哪里都不散，就在今晚。今夜的雨儿蒙，今夜的风儿寒，离情深深夜漫漫，明照海阔天空，纯真得意春风，我祝你锦绣前程如彩虹。 天涯芳草，何处不相逢？忘了我吧，只是一场梦。
ChinatownTV 追踪电视台，ChinatownTV 追踪电视台。
FFCCCII President Dr. Henry Lim Bon Leong attended and received an award at the 10th AKG founding anniversary. 商总理事长林玉庆博士应邀出席反绑架大队10周年庆典并获奖。
非国警反绑架大队于2月24日上午10点，在济顺市克南美军营非国警总部多功能中心举行庆祝成立10周年庆典。非华商联总会理事长林玉庆博士应邀率领多位领导和同仁出席观礼。大会由唱菲律宾国歌拉开序幕，接着由非国警神职人员 Jason Ortizo 准将领导，然后由非国警刑事调查暨侦查组警官 Raymond Liguden 上校致欢迎词，接着播放录像，展示非国警反绑架大队多年来所获成就。既由非国警运作指导委员会指导员 Valeriano de Leon 准将代表非国警总监 Leonardo Carlos 将军向反绑架大队表现优越和杰出的成员颁发奖状，既由 Rudolph Dimas 准将介绍大会主讲贵宾非国警总监 Leonardo Carlos 将军，然后由 Valeriano de Leon 准将代表 Carlos 总监致辞。接下来由非国警反绑架大队队长 Rudolph Dimas 准将向民间团体和个人颁发奖状。商总长期以来向非国警反绑架大队提供赞助并给予支持，得到该机构的肯定和褒扬，是日特别向该会颁发感谢表扬状，对该会历来所给予的资助表示肯定。该会由理事长林玉庆博士代表领奖。该会出席领导有理事长林玉庆博士、外交部主任林玉伟和新闻部主任林丽丽博士。与会者尚有该会外交秘书林清辉。Chinatown News 非中新闻台综合报道。
The Chinese consulate in Laoag provides food packs to the community of San Nicolas Ilocos Norte. 周游宾馆长领事向圣尼古拉斯县社区赠送食品包。
2月24号，中国驻拉瓦格领事馆与北伊罗格省圣尼古拉县警察局合作，向第22村赠送食品包。周游宾馆长领事出席捐赠仪式。周馆长在致辞中表示，北伊省抗击疫情取得重大成果，战胜疫情的曙光就在眼前，每个食品包都是他们的心意。领事馆愿尽最大努力支持和帮助困难的家庭，共同走过艰难的日子。周馆长鼓励村民在抗击疫情的同时，努力恢复生产，发展经济。第22村是领事馆驻地邻居，圣尼古拉斯县警察局还募集了其他抗疫和生活物资，连同领事馆捐赠的100个食品包一起分发。Chinatown News 非中新闻台综合报道。
The Buddhist Light International Association will hold the 2022 Sounds of the Human World Global Music Competition. 国际佛光会世界总会将举办2022年全球人间音源争取比赛。佛光山和佛光会透过文化、教育、艺术、慈善、体育等平台推广人间佛教，实践慈悲、喜舍、平等。其中一项文化活动亮点就是国际佛光会2022年全球人间音源争取比赛。该活动人人都可以参加，不论专家或素人，也不限国籍、年龄，有兴趣创曲者皆可报名参加。参赛者可以以个人或2至4人的团体报名。参加作品必须为自行创作，尊重智慧财产权，禁止抄袭或复制他人作品。作品需使用大会提供之歌词作为创曲内容。每首歌曲时长以4分钟内为限，使用语言不均。影片档案各式为 MP4 及 HD 规格片，需加上歌词，并不得违反公共秩序或善良风俗。获奖者将获得相应奖金鼓励。 除了奖杯和奖状之外，首2、3名还可以分别获得奖金3000美金、2000美金、1000美金。评审推荐奖可获得奖状和奖金500美金。征件日期为即日起至2022年4月30号，详情请见活动官网。有兴趣参加者，请于4月30号前进行线上报名，并将参赛作品上传至自己的 Google Drive， 并开启共用连接。非中新闻台综合报道。
想要潇洒地挥一挥衣袖，却不去长夜正中的影子，随风中画满了你的名字，思念总在分手后开始。想要潇洒地挥一挥衣袖，却不去长夜正中的影子，随风中画满了你的名字，思念总在分手后开始。想要将你的身影缠绵入室，是拒绝成酸苦的旧执，还由不得你想牵肠几指，因为思念总在分手后开始。
ChinatownTV 非中电视台，ChinatownTV 非中电视台。
The Chinese-Filipino Business Club Incorporated successfully held its 12th biennial national convention. 非华工商总会第12次全国会员大会成功举行。非华工商总会主题为融入新常态，迈向新视野的第12次全国会员大会暨第13届董事会理事会就职典礼于2月23、24号成功举行，受到了各界的关注和大力支持。全国会员大会预备会于2月23号下午3点假线上准时召开，透过电子选票选举新届理事133人，随即举行新届理事会第1次会议，共23人获得一致票通过众选董事。选举后继续召开第1次董事会议，谢国万当选为理事长，许长安荣盛名誉理事长，黄书伟荣任执行副理事长，陈华国、曾国强、杨良田、蔡金东、林天德、许文忠、施茵茵、许长泰荣膺副理事长。大会第2天下午2点30分隆重拉开主场活动帷幕，举行第13届董事会暨理事会职员就职典礼。杜特尔特总统、Robredo 副总统、中国驻菲大使黄希濂、菲律宾驻华大使罗马纳担任大会贵宾演讲。央行行长 Benjamin Diokno、财政部长 Carlos Dominguez、工贸部长 Ramon Lopez 先后致辞。有关国家驻菲使节参众两院议员与各部会首长、驻菲外国商会、华社各大友好团体代表纷纷发来视频祝贺。该会点亮未来教育方案22名菲律宾受助生，由吴新慈老师精心教导，献唱2首中文歌曲。此次会员大会在社会各方的支持与关心下获得圆满成功。Chinatown News 非中新闻台综合报道。
The 2022 online workshop on Chinese language education in the Philippines has ended successfully. 2022年菲律宾华文教育线上研习班圆满结束。
由国务院侨务办公室主办，福建省人民政府侨务办公室、泉州师范学院、 菲律宾晋江同乡总会、菲律宾华文学校联合会承办的第24次华文教育研习班结业仪式于2月19号上午10点成功举行。王永卫院长主持结业式，泉州师范学院国际交流与合作处处长许其宏首先宣读52所华校641位结业老师名单，接着学员代表嘉南中学林新颖老师致感谢词。飞华少联常务理事嘉南中学陈慧玲校长代表飞华少联向主办单位以及每位专家致以最崇高的敬意，也感谢老师们的积极参与和学习。菲律宾晋江同乡总会陈凯富理事长表示，20多年来，晋总每年举办大约500-600人参加的华文教育研习班，深受老师们欢迎，取得了丰硕的成果。泉州师范学院黄江坤副校长表示，晋总和少联多方寻求资源，为华文老师创造学习机会，为提升华文教学水平和华文教师教学技能而努力。中国驻菲律宾大使馆王悦参赞兼总领事高度评价晋总24年如一日，每年举办华文教育研习班，参加培训的老师累计超过14000人，对菲律宾华文教育做出了重要的贡献。福建省侨办2级巡视员张志英希望老师们能把所学到的精彩理念和方法运用到教学工作中，为推动华文教育发展、促进中外人文交流、民心相通做出新的贡献。结业仪式之前，泉州师院文学与传播学院副院长杨秋生做了题为闽南家风文化的专题讲座。Chinatown News 非中新闻台综合报道。
The St. Stephen's High School Alumni Association held a webinar on Chinese Filipinos. 圣公会中学校友会举办有关菲律宾华裔的线上讲座会。
圣公会中学校友会于2月12号晚上8点，透过 Zoom 举办主题为超越年糕和幸运符的菲律宾华裔的讲座会，邀请菲律宾华裔青年联合会创会会长洪玉华及其女儿及非华历史博物馆馆长施银清担任主讲人。试晚有近300人在线上出席讲座会。讲座会由林文龙校友主持，首先由圣公会中学校长吴子威博士带领祈祷，再由许秀华理事长致欢迎词。当晚讲座会讨论的主题包括当代菲律宾华裔的身份、共享的历史、共享的文化和共享的知识。2位主讲人回顾了我们的祖先当时是怎么从中国来到菲律宾的，在建立新生活的时候经历了什么样的挑战。他们谈到了一些共享的技术、信仰、语言以及饮食文化，同时还谈到了偏见、刻板印象和种族主义等挑战。2位主讲人表示，中菲人民之间的关系自始至终都很不错。他们认为菲律宾华人在菲律宾拥有不错的威望，他们要尽量让菲律宾人了解中国，让他们了解到他们想象中的中国不是那样的。这些相互了解对中菲关系的进展是非常有益的。在进行问答环节时，与会人员分别就其各相关问题向2位主讲人进行提问，后者一一详细解答，使与会人员获益良多。随后，校友会向2位主讲人颁赠感谢盾牌，最后由副理事长佘厚坤致谢词。讲座会于晚上10点圆满结束。Chinatown News 非中新闻台综合报道。
ChinatownTV 非中电视台。ChinatownTV 非中电视台。
And that officially wraps up our episode for today. Thank you so much for staying with us in today's episode. Join us again next week for another fun episode here on Chinatown TV 非中电视台。我们下个星期再见。